Welcome back here to the Hill Sunday. In 15 days, Republicans will control the White House and both chambers of Congress, a governing trifecta. But there's still a chance they could need the help from some Democrats to pass, for example, spending bills and perhaps even major legislation as well. The top Democrat in the House, the Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, suggested earlier this week from the House floor that Democrats could be willing to play ball.
Housing costs are too high. Grocery costs are too high. Child care costs are too high. Insurance costs are too high. Utility costs are too high. America is too expensive. We will work with anyone to secure our borders, and we will work with anyone to fix our broken immigration system in a comprehensive and bipartisan manner.
Joining us now, the Democratic Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove of California, who represents part of the Los Angeles area, key member of the Congressional Black Caucus as well. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us here on the Hill Sunday. I thought that Hakeem Jeffries' speech was fascinating. A lot of the conversation obviously was on Republicans, Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, so on. But that was not a speech I ever really heard Joe Biden give or Kamala Harris give. It was a lot of costs are too high, was the first thing. And the second thing was immigration. And I wonder if it's lesson learned from the election and if that's what we're going to start to hear more of from your party.
Well, I think it's always been about the economy, right? Making sure that folks can afford health care, child care, housing. They're able to put food on the table. That's something Democrats have always been talking about. I think those are Democratic values, to make sure that we can afford to live in this great country and in a country that's safe. So Democrats have always been willing to work with Republicans on all of those issues.
As part of the calculus, though, now, it's your economy, right? I think that's some of what we saw from Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, President Biden had it for the last 4 years. Now it's yours and you run with it.
Well, Donald Trump is elected to be the next president, so he will have to govern just like Mike Johnson was just elected to be Speaker of the House. So it will be up to them to show us how they govern. But I have to remind you that Democrats have always come to the table with a bipartisan immigration reform bill, helping to keep the government open, working on key legislation that supports our veterans and helps with health care benefits. So we've always been at the table. So
tee up the Jake Auchincloss soundbite if we can. I spoke to one of your colleagues the other day about what Democrats might be able to work with Republicans, and here's what he told me. I'll get your reaction.
What I'm focused on is there are at least 3 bipartisan bills vetted, ready to go to lower costs for Americans. An energy bill through permitting reform, a prescription drug bill through health insurance reform, and an affordable housing bill. Okay. Let's get those bills done.
I see you nodding along there. Is that potentially what we're going to see?
Let's hope so. I mean, Republicans only have a 1-seat majority right now.
Right.
Democrats have always done the work. The question is, can Republicans work with Republicans to show up and work on bipartisanship pieces of legislation? I don't know.
You think they have a mandate? Donald Trump says they do. They just won across the board.
They do not have a mandate. It was a very slim win. The numbers less than 1%, I think, for the presidency. 1-seat majority in the House, 3-seat majority in the Senate. They will still need Democratic votes. They needed it last term when they had a larger majority.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.